All right, it's time for our first exercise of the course. This one, of course, is on functions. Now, the way that this will work is that there is a starter file that you can download. It's just a couple, well, more than a couple of comments, but it's just a file, a TS file with comments in it. There's two things I'm asking you to write, two different functions. I'm trying to keep the JavaScript logic relatively light in these so that you can just focus on the TypeScript stuff, the actual syntax that is new. All right, so what I'd like you to do is, for this first one, write a function called toFor that accepts a single person's name, a string, as an argument, and it will return a string. Now make sure you annotate things. Even if you don't have to annotate a return type, I'd like you to just I'd like you to annotate the types just to get practice. And it should return a string in the format of 1 for whoever the name is that was passed in, 1 for me. So if I pass in Elton, we should get a string back that says 1 for Elton, 1 for me. If I passed in Elvis, it would be 1 for Elvis, 1 for me. But there should also be a default value. If you don't pass in a name, it should default to you. So try writing that, and I'll also just introduce part 2 before going over a solution. Part 2 is to write a function called isLeapYear, which accepts a year, so a number, and will return a true or false value, a Boolean, depending on whether the year is a leap year or not. So 2012 was a leap year, it returns true. 2013 was not, it returns false. Now, to do the actual logic, I've given you some help down here. You can tell if something is a leap year if it's exactly, or if it evenly divides by 400, so you can use modulo, or if it's a multiple of 4 and also not a multiple of 100. So it's just going to be some ands and ors and not equals and that sort of thing. Okay, so let's go ahead and write this part 1. I'm going to define a function. Let's do 1 as a arrow function, and this one I'll use a function, or I'll use the function keyword. Okay, so function toFor, and it's going to accept a person that is of type string. So I'm going to annotate that, and it's supposed to return a string. So I'm going to be explicit about that as well. And it's going to complain because I'm not returning a string. So I'm now going to return a string template literal that says 1 for, and then I'll put in person, 1 for me. And then I want to give person a default value of you. So I'll set it equal to you up here as the default value for that parameter. And that's it. We can test these at the end if we want to. And now for part 2, I'm going to declare, I'll do an arrow function this time, isLeapYear equals an arrow function that has a single parameter year of type number. And then it's going to return a Boolean. Now for the logic, to check if something is a multiple of 4, we'll use modulo. So we'll do something like if year mod 4 equals exactly 0. And then at the same time, so we want and year mod 100 is not equal to 0. So it shouldn't cleanly divide by 100. If that's the case, we'll return true, and we can refactor this in a moment. That means it is a leap year. Else if, and the other condition is going to be year is a multiple of 400. So year and then mod 400 exactly equals 0. Return true. And then we can return false, but I would just refactor this to look something like isLeapYear. It's going to complain that I'm reusing that name. And then we'll just simply return this Boolean and then add in an or this Boolean expression. We don't need the parens there really. So return the result of this entire expression. Is the left-hand side true? Or is the right-hand side true? Otherwise, it just returns false. Anyway, that's not the point, right? This is the point is the number and Boolean type annotations. So we can quickly try this out. Console.log is leap year of 2012, and then I'll do 2013. And then up here, we'll console.log toFor with no arguments, and then with Elvis. And then I will compile this. So functions exercise, I'll use the tsc keyword .ts. And now I have a lot of exercise files in here, but I have a .js file, right? And I'll run it with Node. It's a lot of work just for this silly little proof that our exercise solution works. So one for you, one for me. One for Elvis, one for me. That's what we expect. And then 2012 is a leap year. 2013 is not. So we get true and then false. All right, done with this exercise.